Hiya, I'm back. It's Saturday afternoon. I've got COVID. I'm alright, I'm not poorly, thank you. I can't do anything. I'm isolating to be on the safe side. My boyfriend's at work, so I just thought I'd put my makeup on, show you what I do, show you how I put my makeup on and what I wear, and see what you think. I've prepped my skin. I'll show you what I have prepped it with. We're obviously going to have all the technical super duper skills that I generally have around here. You won't see this cushion balancing act thing I've got going on. Anyway, I did all my normal skincare this morning, but I've just topped it up with some moisturising items to be a nice face base. So I used almost the very last dregs of one of my favourite eye creams, which is the Dermalogica Intensive Eye Repair. I've got maybe one application left in that and it'll be done. Then I used the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dew Drops. I'm a bit meh on this, but you know, I'm about 3/4 of the way through. And then I finished off with the Ordinary Natural Moisturising Factors. If I was doing my makeup for real and to leave the house, I would have applied sunscreen, but as I'm not and I'm not going anywhere, this is it. So this is the starting point. This is my face in all its natural glory. As you can see, I've got quite a lot of discoloration, sun damage on my cheeks, well, all over my face, but it's predominant on my cheeks. And I don't know if you'll see it in this camera, but I have texture here in these areas. This is going to be my general go-to, what I put on a normal day-to-day basis. I've tried to be slightly prepared, but you know, I'm not the best. So anyway, what I would generally start with is this, the Milk Hydra Grip. This is a primer. I don't think it does anything to your skin, as in it doesn't give you a different finish, but it really makes makeup stick to it. But as I'm not going anywhere and this won't be on for very long because I'm going to wash it off shortly afterwards, I ain't wasting it, so I won't put that on for today, but that's generally my first step. Second step would then be a little bit of this, which is the e.l.f. Putty Primer. The Paula's Putty Primer, I'm sure everybody's seen it. It is, as you know, an internet sensation. I warm it up a little bit with my fingertips and then I apply it here, here and here. And I leave it to just sort of set for a minute or two, just not set but kind of be at one with the elements, because I think it just goes in a little bit better if you've left it for a few seconds. I don't need to preface this activity by saying this, because you will see with the finished result that I am not a makeup artist. I don't have any skills. I'm just a regular person who likes to look better. I'm obviously doing this makeup, so much of it in the phone. Never done that before. Not sure, or using the phone as a mirror, because you know, I aren't no pro with a little mirror set up here. We might have to dive into the small mirror at some point. So skin wise, before I go any further and let that sit for a second, I have normal to dry to dehydrated skin. I'm not oily, I'm lucky in that respect, and I'm not particularly spotty. I'll get the odd hormonal spot, but very rare, so I realise how lucky I am for that, but it does mean that I have to use quite moisturising makeup. I am 45. Yes, I'm 45. I'm going to be 46 in about 3 weeks' time. So I've got lots of fine lines, and I've got lots of texture and sun damage on my skin. But those of you who are of similar age will know that the less is more in formulation wise. I can't really wear a heavy base anymore or a lot of makeup, because actually it makes me look older even than I am. So I'm not particularly trying to look younger. I'm happy, but I just want to look my age or thereabouts. I don't want to look older, but I'm you know, I'm happy to look in my I was going to say mid-40s, but by 46 it's going to be getting on towards late 40s, isn't it? 50, in around the corner. Anyway, I leave that for a few minutes, and then once it's settled in, I then use a little combo for my under eyes. So my biggest problem, the thing that I dislike the most about my face is dark circles. So they're really bad. This is skin in its absolute natural state. I hydrate them as much as I can to keep the skin looking good, but they are baggy and extremely dark. So I mix a little combo on my hand of two products, and that is this, which is the Becca Under Eye Brightener. This is quite a fullish pot. Well, no, it's not actually, it's got a dent. I bought this last one when I heard that Becca was being discontinued because I love this product. I believe it's been brought out again under the Smashbox branding possibly, so maybe it is still out there. I hear, I've not tried it because we all know how I feel about them, but that Beauty Pie do a bit of a dupe for it as well. And then I have this, which is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. Now, if anybody's ever tried this, by itself it's absolutely horrendous. You cannot use it. It's so thick and it doesn't spread. It's awful, but it does give good coverage. This also is difficult, I find, to blend out and can sometimes leave you with a sort of noticeable line where it's been. So my trick is this. I get a little bit of this on my finger, and then I put it on the back of my hand. So this is sort of almost like a pearlised pinky cream. It annoys me because I have to waste a bit doing it this way, but you know, it gives the look I want. Then I get my IT Cosmetics and I squeeze. You have to squeeze really hard because it's so difficult to get out. Squeeze a little tiny bit on top of that. Now I have in this IT Cosmetics, I have medium, light medium is the colour that I have, and then I basically mix them both together on my back of my hand. What this does is, I believe it warms it up so that you can actually spread it on your face and you know it actually goes in, but it mixes the two together, so I get that pale shimmer and I get the good coverage from the IT Cosmetics. I'm going to have to go into my little mirror here to apply this, otherwise it's going to look a bit daft, but I won't have to do all of it like this. So then I tap it under my eyes like so, a little bit more like this. Then I wipe off the excess that's on my fingertip because you don't want any more than what I've got on here, like this. And then I use my ring finger and I pat it in. Now panic not, because it won't stay like this and it looks ridiculous at the moment, but once I'm all blended in later on, you will find it works. So this is basically the base. It's like the prime. I'm considering it a primer for my under eyes. Now I bring it right up into this inside corner here, because that is also where my darkness is. So if you can see, and then any excess I tap into the crease of my nose there. So I want this to be a really thin layer. I'm going to come right up so you can see it's basically just creating a sort of a maybe a glowy bounce back, and has just knocked, it's got a bit of a peachy colour corrector, the Becca. It's knocked a little bit of that darkness from the under eyes, but it has to be a thin layer because I'm going to put more products on. So again, I leave it to just sit for a couple of seconds. I'm going to pause it while I do that because nobody wants to sit and just look at me waiting like this for my under eyes to dry. A few seconds, I'll be back. So all of that is actually, that's the most time consuming part of my makeup. Everything else is super quick. So what I use next is concealer. I love the Flower Beauty Light Illuminating concealer. I use this concealer in medium light, and I basically use it where I need a little bit of extra coverage, because I'm going to put a light serum cream over the top. Now it looks like I've put loads on there, but as you can see, if you look, it's very thin formula, and I've put tiny little dabs all over my face. And then because I'm no pro, I actually blend it in with my foundation brush. All of my blending from this point on is done with just a couple of brushes. My favourite is this one. It is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, and I basically just buff that concealer in the areas. So I put a tiny bit on my cheeks where that discoloration is, around here. I put a tiny bit up here where again I have a discoloration. By discoloration, it's sun damage. Far too much sun in my youth before I was sensible enough to wear a Factor 50, which I have worn every day since sort of I'd say my very late 20s, early 30s, since then. And then I've put some under my eyes, which I blend out with this brush, which blends in that underneath base that I put on. So I'm going to pause you a second again while I just thoroughly buff that into my skin. So this is that buffed in. It's very, very light coverage, as you can see, but it has taken out most of the coloration. To bring it all together and give a slightly dewy finish, I use this, which is my current favourite product. It is the Trinny London BFF Serum De-Stress. I have it in shade Leslie, and I get a tiny bit, maybe a pump and a half, and I put it all over my face. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to buff that all over the top of the foundation, the concealer that I've just put on, to basically bring it all together. Now I'm talking, I'll bring it down your neck as well. We all know the foundation crime of having a different coloured neck. I'm talking, so this has taken me longer than it normally would, but generally this takes like 2 minutes in the morning, and what it does is it gives me coverage that you can't see the imperfections I want covering up, but it isn't a really, really, really heavy foundation makeup look. I'm just going to pause you again while I continue to buff that in. So I've buffed that in. I'm trying to kind of see if you can see in this light that it's quite a natural light coverage, but it has a little bit of a glow to it. But it is giving me sort of a base. So I try to use as many cream products now as possible. My favourite blush of the moment is this e.l.f. Putty blush. I have a Trinny London one, which is my favourite one, but it's a bit more wintry. And then I also love the I'll think of the name of it in a second. Nude Sticks, the Nude Sticks pink one, Pink Blossom or something like that. So I apply with a Real Techniques brush. I don't think this is a blusher brush. It is a buffing brush. And I take it from the pot onto the brush and I dab like this. And then I'll come back to it in a second. I do the same. And I dab like this, and a bit of a stripe, put a tiny bit here like this. Then I would get my little mirror, because I can't see it properly and don't want to go out with a big stripe on my face, and then I just gently buff the edges of that. What I want is a sheer glow, and I don't want particularly blusher placement. I will come back and I'll put a little bit more blusher on at the end, because I believe you can never have too much blusher. Now, I do a tiny bit of contouring, and you are going to laugh your heads off at this, because it's very funny the way I do it. I've got this new blusher, new bronzer, which is way, way, way too dark, but I just love the colour so much. Look at it. Oh, it's new. It is by Be Perfect Cosmetics with Jack Josser. I don't know if it's Jack Josser's cosmetic range or if she's done like a partnership with Be Perfect. It's in a very fancy thing. It was about 15 quid, but it was on offer in Superdrug, half price. I think I paid about £7.50 for it. It's way too dark. It'll look great on me when I have a tan, and I will use it as bronzer, like all over my face when I've got a tan. But I am using it at the moment as a tiny bit of contour. I think it's so good. It's so gorgeous. So how I contour, honestly, it's embarrassing. But I have this brush, which I don't even know where I got it from, and it's like an angled, I think this is meant to be, I think, a foundation and concealer brush. I think this is meant to be a proper foundation brush. The pigment in this is ridiculous, so you get a tiny bit, and then I go, look at that, the shade of it. And then excess, I go like this. And that is the extent of my contouring, and then I get the little end and I just buff it out, and then I get the little end again and I get a little dab of it, and I go here, I know, and then look, I don't know, I've seen it on some sort of TikTok, right? And then if you're really brave, I'm talking like this because you have to do it. If you're really brave, you can do another here. And it gives you this sort of, now I have these sort of cheekbones anyway, but because I've got a fat face, I have to stop talking like that, talk normal. It works for me. Now it might not work for everyone, but it does work for me. So that is my contouring trick. Anyway, I'm sure people will watch it and slag me off, but that's what I do. So that is my base. What I then do is I do a tiny little bit of powder. Before I put my powder on, I take a little finger and I just make sure I have no creases under my eyes, and then I powder using the one and only Charlotte Tilbury. And I use this old big fluffy brush and I just go there. I don't go anywhere else. I just go there like that. And then what's left on the brush, I do a tiny, tiny dusting over my eyelids. Okay, so that you'd think I'd be done, but no. I then learned from somebody else, I don't know who it is, it's an American woman, she's a makeup artist, can't remember her name, and she buffs all over her face once she's done with Hourglass setting powders. I love this. This is the second one of these I've had. It's the Hourglass Ambient Lighting palette. Basically, I don't know if you can see, bronzer has been absolutely diminished. This is what happens with these palettes. I've had two now, this is my second one. Bronzer got totally diminished immediately, and then over time I'll use up the other two. I have bought two of the full size bronzing ones. It's not a bronzer, but it's a bronzy colour. What I then do is I get this Real Techniques, don't know what this is. This is a blush brush, and then I just go across the two like this. This is what that woman does. If I remember her name, I'll link her before. And then she just basically buffs all over her face using this, and it just brings your makeup all together, gives you a lovely glare like this, but you can't see it. It's seamless. It's absolutely seamless. And it helps the longevity of your makeup, because I hate that powdery look. What I then do is I would then spritz with my Urban Decay All Nighter from a distance. And I'll pause you while I'm waiting for that to dry. I then do my brows. I'm using what is a product people wouldn't expect me to say I liked, because I slag them off all the time, but I actually think it's great, and that is the Beauty Pie brow pencil. I have it in the second to last darkest colour, Hot Coffee it's called. So I brush my brows up. I'm going to have to do these in the small mirror. Brush them up. And then I'm not very good at brows. I basically go like this underneath first, then I go across the top to sort of create a bit of shape like that. Then I do little strokes to fill them in. And then I try and join them up like this, but then I take the edge off with my finger each time, because I don't want it to look totally crazy. But I don't have many brows of my own. So that is one brow done, one brow not. The difference is astonishing, I think. I think you can't, you know, having a good brow. I'd like to have them microbladed, but I feel like I won't be great on the uptake. So I've shown you how I've done one. I'm going to go off camera, do the other one, and I'll be back. So that's both brows on. I'm not great at doing them. This eyebrow as well, I have a scar at this side, so it completely doesn't grow on that side, so I have to really try and get them to match, and I can't always do it. I have to use a really, really dark brow pencil. If I use anything that is even slightly warm, it really just looks orange and fake on me. This is one, the reason I like this is it's one of the best colour wise on me. I would then set my brows with the Benefit 24-hour brow gel. And I actually do this twice. I do it once now, and I just brush the product through, and then leave it to go sticky, and then when it's dry, I'll put another layer on. Eyes, often on a day-to-day basis, I don't wear any eye makeup at all. I work quite a busy job, and I just you know, I'm not that bothered. I don't really have that much time for it. I don't wear this much makeup always on a day-to-day basis, but if I was going shopping or I was going to go out for lunch or something like that, this is what I'd do. But if I did want to give just a little bit of definition to my eyes, I use this, which is my favourite eye product ever invented. It is the Trinny London eye cream. I have it in Desire, which is I've got a few of them, but it's a really, really dark brown, really, really dark, and you think, oh my god, it's going to be so dark, and it is dark. However, you just use a tiny bit and buff it out. So Trinny uses, when she does it, pretty much her fingers all the time. I use an extremely old Jenna, what's she called? Gemma Kid eye makeup brush that I've had for years and years. I absolutely love it. And I take a very tiny dab, like literally a tiny dab, and then I dot it around my eyelids. I feel I get it a bit more where I want it to be than just putting it straight on with my finger. And then I get my little finger and I just blend it out. It is a very, very subtle wash of colour. And then if I think I want a bit more, I'll do the same thing again. I find it's better to go much lighter handed. And then again, I just literally just blend it over my lid like this. And all it does is it just gives me a little bit of definition around the eye area, like that. I then would put some mascara on. I'm using this mascara at the moment. I absolutely love it. I'm on the dregs of it now, and I don't know whether to buy it again or to try something else. It is the Uoma. I'm not sure how you say it, and I really apologise to the maker, Uoma Drama Bomb. I bought this from Liberty. I think you can actually buy it on ASOS as well. It is big, fat, chunky lashes, which is what I love. I curl my eyelashes with an eyelash curler. This one is from UK Lash. I'm going to have to go in my little mirror for this. So I curl for a few seconds. And I do one at a time, because if I curled the other eyelash, I never understand that. It'd be flat by the time I got it. And then, oh, it's getting a bit clumpy. Don't judge this mascara from what you're going to see here, because I think it is actually now on its last, very, very last legs. But oh my God, before it clumps up, it is, it's fabulous, big, thick. It's called Drama Bomb, and it really is drama. So my eyelashes do not curl. They're long, they grow quite well. I'm having a bit of if you've watched me before, you'll know I usually use a lash gel, but I'm having a bit of time off from it at the moment to let my eyelashes come back again. But they don't curl. Now, I've just got this all over, so I'll clean it up, but can you see the difference? I don't know if you can tell in this light actually. Fabulous, 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 fabulous. I'm going to pause you while I do the other one. So that's my mascara on, and then what I do at the end is I go massively ham and overboard on the blusher. So I've got some colour, I've got some contour, I've got some brows, I've got some lashes. They're not enough. What I want is a load of extra blusher. So I wait until my makeup is completely finished, and yeah, am I happy with it? And then I pack on the apples of my cheeks. This much blush, because I think that is what gives you the youthful finish. Now I feel, I mean, it looks a bit worse on camera than the reality, but I feel that if you use a sheer cream blush like this e.l.f. one, or any of the cream brushes I use, and you buff it well enough so that it's sort of everywhere on your face. I know that you're not meant to wear blusher here and you're meant to put it up here, but the look I want is fresh faced and glowing. So I put it here, and then at the end of my brush I'll put a very, 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 just a little tip on my nose there, and then usually whatever colour blush I'm wearing, I'll put a tiny bit of it just on my lip. I'm not a huge lipstick wearer, it doesn't stay on me 2 minutes, and I get really dry lips if I wear it, whereas if I don't wear it, they're fine. So that is my finished day-to-day makeup. I use cream products where I can. I do use a bit of powder, but I'm really, really trying to look my age, look youthful, but not look too overdone, not take too much time doing it. I've obviously taken a long time here because I'm talking, but generally this probably takes me about 12 minutes normally. Anyway, that's my face. See ya. Bye.